Hunters, this is not a normal week. We've got the US employment data tomorrow, inflation on Thursday, and the Japanese carry trade risk is building with Friday's BOJ decision. If you only react to headlines, this week will destroy you. And if you understand where and how these three pieces connect, this week can set up the next trend. Stay with me because the last 2 minutes of the video are what most traders miss. Right, so quick market snapshot. Here's where the market actually stands right now. Stocks are compressing, so there's no bullish and no bearish momentum for about 10 days now. Volatility is low, but that never survives weeks like this. So we could be seeing a lot of movement in the VIX this week. Crypto is coiling, although it's ticking up a little bit. It's still coiling within a certain structure, waiting for liquidity, and I'm not guessing where the direction is going to go. I'm just looking for key breakouts into certain zones. Yields are unstable and the dollar looks like it wants to go further downwards, but it could easily find support and move up higher here. This isn't indecision. This is positioning before the impact. There's a lot of fear in the market, and I think a lot of traders are positioning right now before the impact of this week. So this week isn't about one data point, it's about the sequence. On Tuesday, we have a US unemployment data right here, projected to be and forecasted to be 4.4%. If we get this lower, it'll be great news for the markets. If it's slightly higher, it could create instability and insecurity in the markets, leading to sell-offs in the S&P 500 and other US related stocks. We have the non-farm payrolls as well, which we have to monitor. On Thursday, we have inflation data here, as well as the BOE, the Bank of England interest rates. So this is expected to go down with inflation data also coming out and being dropped on the same day for the US market. So a lot of things going on here. We have ECB interest rate decision as well, 2.15% forecast here. So we get a lot of movement in the markets, and especially in these alternative markets, UK, European. But inflation data, we need this to go sub 3 to build more confidence, and that way we're gonna get further interest rate reductions in the next few months. BOJ, big factor here, and we have to monitor it on Friday. Again, another interest rate decision. It's forecast for 0.75. They're planning to move it slightly higher. Forecasts are expecting a 25 basis points increase. If the BOJ disrupts the yen funding trade, risk assets everywhere feel it. Now, something that one of my members in the Discord group mentioned is it already priced in, especially in crypto? I don't know about the stock market because I don't think it's priced in the stock market. We're going to be looking at the S&P very shortly. But in crypto, it feels like it's priced in. Interesting fact here is, we're going to be covering this a little bit later, that a 20 to 30% drop, like we've seen every time the BOJ's increased interest rates, has happened. And if we get that 20 to 30% drop, it goes to the 72 zone that I've identified a number of weeks ago as the second stage of a bearish move in the markets. So we have to watch for that one very, very carefully. That's why markets are fairly quiet in the last 10 days, even though we had an interest rate decision in the US. Nothing really happened with it. There was some movement on the day. The initial move happened about a week or two before, starting on 28th of November. So in reality, I'd say there is something big lining up, so we have to monitor the direction of the markets. As of today, we're seeing some slight upward tick in the US stock market, and the UK market I've identified as a key market to trade in for this week. And I'm not seeing a lot of opportunities in tech and risk assets. Right, so quick note here. If you want to see how I'm tracking this week in real time, I share live charts, execution notes inside the Trend Hunters community, as well as ideas that I'm looking at through my watch list. There's no hype, there's just structure, and it is a place where I work and I share with other members. The link is below in the description of the video. Right, let's get back into sharing some of my thoughts on where the markets will go this week. Look, I'm in no rush to take any trades today. If I'm being honest, I have been looking at some UK stocks because of the indecision, because of the impact of the news and the data that's going to be dropping this week. It is better to let the data come out and then make decisions. Yes, we could place 1 or 2 trades just before if the market is showing momentum, and there is some key reasons as to why we can move into certain markets. But if the setup isn't there, there is no rush for me. There is never any rush for me if the setup isn't there. I want to look at the S&P 500 really quickly and just share some of my thoughts here. For me, since the 22nd, I think it's around here, since the 22nd of September, we've actually been in a distribution period with S&P 500. Yes, we've upticked, but then we've come back down to the same zones as October. We are at all-time highs, doing a double top here. It's looking very, very similar to a Wyckoff distribution that we saw during the last 2 months of last year. And at any point, we can get a huge push downwards. And the 2 zones I see here are 6.7 and 6.3K or 6.1K as well. We also have this 6.5K here as well as a key base. So it's about a $200 to $300 gap between each key zone. Me personally, I'm looking this week at how it bounces on the 20 EMA here, whether we get an uptick, even if we get a little bit of a consolidation before Tuesday and Thursday, and then we get an uptick on the BOJ news. We have to see, but that's what I'm monitoring here. I don't want this move down here. We would have to start selling some of my positions, even though I'm in profit in the majority of the positions. I have taken some new trades on Friday, which I thought would look pretty good and were worth trading. So overall, looking quite good, and yeah, I'm happy with where we are right now with the market and the fact that we usually bounce on the 20 EMA, maybe even a little bit deeper if it does go, and then we bounce. Feel fairly confident in S&P. Nasdaq, very similar setup, but it didn't do a double top. You're seeing weakness here, and it could easily come back down to this zone here of 24.6. The Russell looked quite strong last week, creating new all-time highs, but sold off on the Friday. Small caps actually moving quite well. And the Russell's moving quite well, so I'm fairly surprised by that, but it's logical in the sense that we've had interesting decision which was fairly positive for the markets and for small caps and growth stocks. A particular type of growth stock, which are small caps. The VIX is spiking a little bit today and fairly normal. I actually outlined for you guys last week that if we do get the retest here, I think it was on a Monday, we get the retest, I've kept this since last 2 weeks ago. If we get the retest and move back down, we would start seeing some momentum pushing up higher in the S&P, and we could probably make about 3 or 4% in the last 2 weeks of the year. Again, we have the data. We have to be very, very careful with how that data is is going to impact our portfolios. In terms of my portfolio with stocks, a really quick update here. We have GEV moving quite well. I'm going to just flick through here so you guys can see GEV quite well. Bouncing here. I'm letting the market bounce. We have Constellation Brands, Lululemon. This is the second trade I've taken actually since I started doing the daily hunt. We initially took this trade here and then sold off around break even, a small loss, and then we've taken the second trade here, which just paid off, and on Thursday moved quite well. On earnings, we have Chime Financial dipped on the Friday, could dip a little bit further, and then we can see a bounce for a move up higher. I'm letting the market decide here. I've taken some profits off the table, so I'm fairly comfortable. Tesla also looks quite good, moving quite well now in pre-market, showing strength and all-time highs. I do want to see this pierce through the all-time highs. Maybe pierce through this green line here, part of my channels. 470, pierce through 470, and then we'll see what happens. It is a bit overextended, so maybe pierces through, comes back down, and then builds momentum again, but looks quite good. ATI moved quite well once we entered on the breakout. Looks quite strong. Selling off after a bit of an uptick in pre-market, selling off here. SDX looks quite nice as well. And yeah, so I'm just letting the market do what it needs to do, absorb that volatility. We are in profit. I've taken some profits off the table, and I'm looking to assess the situation day by day. We have some other plays which we've taken, like Plug, looked quite good, and just needs some further momentum. It could easily reject here. I would be happy to sell with around break even anyway, if it does reject. We have BMNR, which is a crypto play, failed on Thursday and Friday because of the crypto sell-off. Very connected to Ethereum because of the Ethereum holdings that it has. So monitoring this one. SSRM just started a breakout, and I'm looking for that second breakout of that trend line that you can see here on the chart. Looks quite good, but could easily flip to the negative side. So we have to monitor and manage the position. Maybe tighten the stop loss so we don't lose the 1R that we've placed on this stop loss zone. KRMN, quite good. Traded around, I think, the Wednesday or Thursday here. RTX moving well because of government funding for defense. That's quite good. IT looking quite good here. I really like IT, and I think it can be a surprise mover if we can get some momentum. We need that momentum to pierce through that trend line and then start creating a new structure, a new high. Of course, it's going to create a higher high, then a higher low, and has to do those moves. But it looks good for a breakout if we can get some momentum in this week. CAG, Conagra brands, food brand again, similar to STZ, and just broke out. Again, I'd like to see a bit more momentum to create a higher high here, pierce through this zone, maybe even here or here, and then create a higher low. UNH, United Health, is entered a bit late here, but I quite like it, so I'm gonna let it do what it needs to do, even if it needs to come back down here. I'm gonna let it find support and then rebuild structure. Quite like this one, head and shoulder pattern. Just show you guys here. Head, shoulder. We have the neckline, and if I draw the neckline, it's probably going to be around here, but I'll just draw the neckline for you. So we have 1. There you go. Right. We can't get any cleaner than that. I would have liked to have entered on the Thursday and open on Friday. Well, that would have been better, but yeah, it is what it is, and we just need that momentum now. Again, if we get a dip, it's not the end of the world, and it's a manageable position here with a fairly deep stop loss. Right, so that's stocks looking pretty good. There are some new ideas I have as well. Quickly going to share here. Sage, UK stock, looking quite strong. I think if it breaks this zone here, we can see some follow through momentum. I will be looking at this during the day, how it moves, whether it rejects here. Once we finish this recording, I also like BT. So BTA. Where is it? BT. We have BT Telecoms, BT Group. Moved really well today. Okay, so broke out, now showing momentum, and it's exactly what I was looking for here on the follow through. Looking very, very strong. BTA, BT.A, or BT Group. What else? Shared this actually in my watch list and live stream on Discord yesterday. We did a live stream. I explained as to why, and this is why I have some annotations in and drawings as to why I like it. And as you can see here, today gained around 1.6%. It is on track to move up higher and start building new structures. So yeah, look, you're going to get a lot of value in that community. What else can we cover here? Let's do, we did the VIX, we do the dollar. I think the dollar's very, very useful right now. And then quickly do the analysis of crypto. And then I think that'll be it for today. Let's see the dollar's down, which is fairly good for the markets in my opinion. Look, we had that move here. We're going, it's fairly good for the markets here. We're moving down. I was expecting more kind of momentum up here, but yeah, it's looking quite decent. We are now in a new trend line going downwards. I'm just going to clean up some of these annotations because these are just what when I was discussing some ideas. Okay, we have this. Just see now when this breaks. Again, I don't trade with trend lines. I'm trying to figure out where the support and resistance will be on the dollar for the next few weeks. We have gold moving up higher, but I think it could do a double top and then come back down. Silver, very, very similar setup here, where I feel like it could go to around this level where it is right now, 64, and then come back down. But we have to monitor how it rejects during this zone. Let's look at silver really quickly. Comes back up to this zone, and then I want a rejection here for the third time. 1, 2, rejection for the third time. Following day, we come back down here would be ideal. Gold, very similar, where I feel we can move up higher, double top, but I think it's looking quite nice for that overextension to 4.4, 4.5. We have to be very careful. 10-year bonds, they broke out of the head and shoulder pattern, and we're currently in a consolidation zone here. I think we can even uptake all the way here to this zone. And yes, in theory, it should be bad for the markets, but I think the bonds could increase as well as the market itself, depending on how everything sets up this week with the data. Let's look at crypto really quickly. We have crypto around that zone where it's meant to make a decision. We actually broke the bearish to the bearish side yesterday around the 89.6 zone. I would say was the key bearish pivot. We are still kind of bearish here, but as you can see here with my drawings, We had 1 and 2 trend lines that we're holding. So we had this one, and again, we're testing this one now. If it rejects here at this cross point, if it rejects here, this trend line, then we have higher probabilities of going down. But it's a very, very tricky moment here in the markets. It's either double bottom or a deeper drop, or we're going up here. It's so tricky. We have to be very careful where we are positioned. And me personally, I'm not trading the short here at the moment. I didn't like the risk reward ratio because I would have to give it a bit more room with my stop losses. And I prefer the long side. So if it comes back down here, I'd rather take this straight for 1 to 5 moving up higher. Ethereum, very similar. I was in a bullish trade around this zone. I decided to actually cut my loss here. I'll just reassess. There is no reason of holding through such a potentially volatile week when I can easily just re-enter. I'm always looking at the market, so there is always an opportunity for me to re-enter and find that key pivot point for the re-entry anyway. But yeah, held the trend line quite well. Looks quite good for that continuation, but it could go either way because of the week that we're dealing with. Other than that, in crypto, there isn't much to look at. There isn't any long side positioning that I can look at myself. As I said earlier, if you guys are interested in joining the Discord group, you're going to get real value. And if you want the real-time levels, chart breakouts and breakdowns, executions, the Discord group is the best place to go and learn these. Yes, you can join as a novice hunter and see my watch list, see some of my included ideas there. But if you want complete transparency, you can also join the Apprentice Hunters group, but you would have to do it within the community. Try it out. Learn a few things from me and what I am looking at in the markets. I've this year made around 60-70% in stocks, over 100% in crypto because I prioritize long and short Bitcoin and Ethereum. And it's an interesting group anyway. It's growing. In terms of the video, what I will say is, quick question before everybody goes. What moves in the market do you see this week? As in, do you expect it to go short? Do you expect it to go long? Do you expect inflation data to come in hot or cold? Do you expect jobs to be hot or cold? Do you expect the BOJ to reduce or increase interest rates? Let me know down below in the comments, and I'll see you next time.